which is providing this little reflection here, but it's going to have to be the way it is. So I'm looking forward to seeing your comments after what was a remarkable day yesterday. Yeah, I was up until 2 a.m. sorting out a video for you guys, and I'm glad I did, because it was a good performer and it was a very interesting day out. Started early. Every day is an early start. 7 a.m. No, actually, no, it was a bit later. 9 a.m. Ended up leaving the track about 9:30, and it was marvellous to be. Sorry, I'm mucking around with the light here. It was marvellous to be on hand to witness Lando Norris's first race, and hopefully you've seen my YouTube video. You know what I should do? Get a microphone. Hang on. Now, hopefully this will not muck up the audio, so it is what it is now, but when I put this in, is it working? Because it plays up. Is it working? Is it working? Tell me the audio is working. Thank you very much for your praise there. Best F1 channel on YT, which of course is short for YouTube. Now, I will not be jumping off into the, whatever that is. This is Brickell, which is an area not far from, centre of town. It's just there. That's it there. And I can tell you, it's amazing when you walk around this city, because I reckon 25% of the women have those stretchy lycra pants on, those training pants, and sports bra things. Looks like they're all jogging. It's quite amazing. Hello, William Dykeman from Chicago. Now, you are a member, I gather, because you've got a little symbol. And yeah, if you are a member, make sure I see you. And if you want to get a super chat in because you want to guarantee I see it, I welcome those as well. What I was going to tell you about yesterday, the video I put up last night about Lando was going to only be about, well, predominantly about Donald Trump, because that was quite a huge story at the track yesterday. And I thought, oh, well, Max will win, so I'll make it Donald Trump. And of course, end of the day, Lando's had a win, so that became the focus of the video. But oh my gosh, it was funny reading some of the comments, because a lot of people didn't like it that I even acknowledged him. Well, the bizarre thing is, my job is to tell you what happened at the track. And he was the big story. The fact that he took over all of the track with all of the paddock with security guards and Secret Service. It was phenomenal. I've never seen anything quite like that. It was a real eye-opener, especially if you've seen the video. You would have seen those four guys that always walked behind him by about 10 metres, and they had, I don't know, some sort of assault weapon and backpacks and those full-on goggles and it's something that we in Australia never see. Our Prime Minister gets around. He might have two blokes in suits either side of him. I'm not even sure they're armed. But of course, this country is a remarkably different country than the one that I come from. So yes, for those of you just joining me, this is the city of Miami. Hello, Cherry from Tokyo. Somebody watches all my content. That's nice. I've got another video going up tonight, Australian time. What are we now? It's 7 p.m. here. So in about, so hard with the time difference, maybe in 4 hours plus 12 hours, there'll be a video going up, and it is my Qantas first class A380 flight review. I came over here on Qantas, and it's a good video because I took 3 flights, 37 hours to get from Perth to my hotel in Aventura, which was the Hilton, and I loved it there. It's a great hotel. It just lacks a bit of soul downstairs, and it would have been nice to have a good buzz in the bar when you came back each night, but it was a bit dead. But the rooms themselves are stunning, and the hotel is about 25 minutes from the track at the time I normally leave, which is on the first 3 days I'd leave at about 7 a.m, get back at 9 p.m, have a couple of hours awake and then go to sleep and do the same thing again. But of course Sunday was a little bit of a late start because the race started at 4 p.m. It caught me by surprise, and I was just checking what I should do on Saturday night. On Saturday night I was checking what I should do on Sunday, and I realised, oh, get an extra 2 hours sleep in the morning. Hello, Angel. I was in LA for 7 hours and I went for a drive to see a lovely fella called Jared Lands. And Jared, you might know, you photography people might know, as the man behind Red Cameras. And he has the most amazing office I've ever seen. It's a film set. And he's got stuff strewn everywhere, and he's got an old saloon totally made up. And yeah, it was very impressive. And for those of you just joining me, and there are 324 of you now, this is a light that's reflecting, but I have to have it. Otherwise, it would look like, what would it look like? It would look like that. So much better, you can see me here. Hi from Mackay in Queensland, Greg Manus. Interested to go to your comments now about the weekend. What do you want to know that perhaps you haven't had answered with regards Lando's big win? Need one of those GMT watches you take photos of. Yeah, I went into a Rolex store here today, but no. Yeah, JetBlue flight, you're going to see that on the video. But in short, excellent staff, great customer service, but I had a kid in the row behind me scream for the first 90 minutes, so there was no sleeping, but it was only a 4-hour flight. And I can tell you who was on that flight, Veronica, with a K, Veronica Rajek. You know, you do know Veronica, because if you've been onto my Instagram page today, you would have seen the second photo is a woman who wore an interesting outfit on race day, and that is Veronica. So go and have a look at Instagram either after you've finished this or if you want to nip away now. But the second photo, she came in, I think, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, but she was on the same flight as me, and I put up a post saying, here's me, a third of 3 flights to get to Miami, and she sent me a picture saying, oh, just a picture of my back of my head. So she was 2 rows behind me. If you wanted, okay, rightio, it was very nice to see Trump congratulating Norris. Well, you've got to be careful what you say there, Cherry, because some people get very upset about you reporting what went on. They don't like you using his name. Pleasure to meet me on Saturday during the pit lane walk, says Damo. Took a picture with me. Thank you for taking the time. It was a pleasure. It was a good crowd there. Paddock is too big. It's spread over too big a distance. And it's stinking hot in the middle of that stadium. It's awful. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do, huh? But one great thing, and this is something I didn't mention in the video, and perhaps I should have, was because we have these, what are they, corporate boxes to sit in. And apologies, I'm not getting to many of your comments because I'm talking and I can't do 2 things at once. I can barely do one. So Super Chat is like that to me. It gets my full attention. But we have these super boxes, corporate boxes with 12 seats. Yeah, 12 seats. And then behind it is an area where they would normally serve food and you can stand. Well, that's where our media desks are. And there was only 2 of us in one of these boxes. And there's a fridge, and then you can open up all the windows, and then that way you could see what was going on downstairs in the stadium. And we'd get all of these huge roars regularly when the crowd were up in the grandstands, because drivers would come in, and every time that happened, I'm thinking, bloody hell, I should be down there. That was a photo I could have got, but of course you can't get every photo. You die trying. Winner poster of Lando. Yeah, I have to do. I've got some stuff in the office that I have to do today, with my staff in the Perth office. Would love to meet me if I'm doing something in Belgium. Is Belgium conducive? No, because it's very hard. There was a lot of overtaking. Look, I haven't even watched the race yet. I watched the highlights. Gave me a bit of an idea of what transpired. Of course, I was very near. What airline is that? I can't see. I was very near the crash. In fact, I had been, and what does this really matter, but 20 minutes prior I was in the spot and that car would have come straight into the fence right in front of me, but at some point it gets too close and then you don't get any shots. What's my schedule this week? It is doing a video from Miami talking about this joint, and it will be having some nice food. Yes, Silverstone, I think we can do one at Silverstone, but once again, it all depends on my schedule, and I don't know until a couple of days prior what my commitments are and if there's any time left. Best lens? I don't know, it depends what your budget is. If you're on a minimal budget, say a 1 to 500 would be great. If you've got a big budget, you get a 600 or a 1 to 300, they're lovely. But that's Canon, I don't know what other camera manufacturers have in their lineup. What's that say? I love Miami now. Do you? Oh, the race. Okay, yeah, I think a lot of people were pretty happy with it. How to become an F1 photographer? Go to the media website, FIA media website, and work out what their criteria are. And that's a seaplane making a drone. And I'll give you a quick little view around here. Okay, so that's view there. Go around here, and look at that. It's quite lovely. Quite lovely. But that's where all the action is behind me there. Lots of Latino influence here. Cuban food is big, I'm told. I'm trying to balance this monopod. It'll sort itself out there. Oh, do you want to have a look down there? Ooh. Watch out. This is a glorious hotel and with a nice view. And the reason I picked this hotel was because I wanted a hotel where you could come outside and you feel the connection to the city. I don't like just being stuck in a room. And this has a balcony and a door. Nice ocean view. Is this the ocean, guys? We're in the flight path. No, I have stayed in the centre of the cities before. Instead of the city, that was at the East Hotel. Oh yeah, look, somebody's mentioned Cafe Versailles. A few people have suggested that. Looks very old school, a little bit daggy. And I'm not sure that I love Cuban food. Is it Cuban food? I've been told to go and try some. And thank you for picking up a Hulkenberg signed print tonight. And the race, I'll show you this. That was a bit clumsy of me. So anyway, this is a mob that do quite a nice book. It's a different book than the ones I do, obviously, but it's all about the Miami race. And I've got one here I'm going to give away. Somehow, I'll probably do a little livey from the city somewhere and just say first person to come and grab it. And that's a good way of getting rid of it quickly, or I'll put up an Insta post, but keep an eye on my social media. Did he fall off the balcony? Well, the fact that I'm here suggests that hasn't been the case. Oh, I don't like Mexican. No, doesn't agree with me. I like steaks. Oh, and I had some of the best food I've had in a long time at the F1 garage during the race weekend, where they were serving up scallops in a couple of different ways, and I loved it. In fact, I gave one a 9.6 out of 10. I had a good burger today in the heart of the city here at the Henry, and we are definitely underneath the flight path. Right, let's go to some of your questions. Christopher, I do not edit my videos. I used to, but last year I got myself a full-time editor, and it gave me back so much time in my day. So instead of being able to do 3 videos and being buggered by the end of it, I can now do 6 and not be quite so tired. You should go to a rocket launch. How far is that? And when do why is this shirt doesn't sit nicely? Hello, Heidi. She is a VIP. And in terms of being a member of the channel, it doesn't cost much. It's a couple of dollars a month, I think, US, 5 or 10, depending on which level you get. But it does help cover some of these costs. Internships. People say, how do you become an intern? There's not even a thing. You don't learn how to shoot motorsport at the very highest level. You learn how to shoot motorsport at the very lowest level, and then you come up. So yeah, there's no such thing as an internship. Thoughts on New York City? I don't like it. I haven't been there in a while. Was the food really that expensive at the track? I don't know. I didn't go out and price it up. Certainly the people who were in corporate suites had to pay a fortune. Did you see the rapper IDK? No, I saw him last year though. You missed a good launch at noon today. Yeah. Oh, shivers. I really should be on the... Why aren't I on that? Just hang on a sec. No, not going to be able to do it, old bugger. Now, apologies. I realised I was chewing through data at a ridiculous rate, so I've now gone and got myself onto the Wi-Fi here at the hotel, so we are now good. Now, I got stuck into a couple of your comments. It froze because I had to go and change the setting. Bottle of Tito. Oh, what? Oh, yeah, but that's in the beach club. That's like going to the Win Encore. Yeah. It was just an absolute... those prices are crazy, and that's the same prices you'll pay at Las Vegas day clubs and nightclubs. Essentially, that's not what you're paying for the food and drink. That's what you're paying for, I guess, an area. Have some real estate. Now, what's this? You mentioned penalties. What type of activity? I don't know. If they say, look, there's something special going on track, and it's for a team, you can't shoot it, and you shoot it, and they would say, right, you get in trouble, or there are a whole host of things. If you stand in the wrong spot, say you stand in a red zone, you're not supposed to stand in a red zone, so you can be done for that. And it's fair enough. How can I live from photography? I don't know. I don't know whether you could do what I do, because I had to do a whole lot of years making no money before it's at this stage. There's no steadfast rule about you do all this and this happens. And I've said before, there are very few jobs in Formula One photography. There might be, I'm thinking, 10 guys that work for a company that get paid to be a photographer. Everyone else is pretty much freelancing. Is K-Mag getting ousted? People don't tell us. Sometimes we're the last to know, but yeah, it's all wank till it's in the bank. That's what I say. What can I get now that I'm a member for your exclusive club? Well, there's a whole host of things like after every race you get raw images. So if you're a photographer, you'll get some of my images straight from the raw files. You can go and edit them and do what you want. You can't sell them, but you can have some fun with them. Every month you get wallpapers, you get discounts on stuff. What's going on down there? There's some party boats down there, I think, having some fun. Did I go to Lando's party? No, I was buggered. I spent until 1:30, maybe 1:45 doing a video, having been out at the track all day, so the last thing I wanted to do was go out and stand around in a nightclub. Yes, I was on TV yesterday, apparently. But still, there's so many different cameras. Yeah, I imagine you only saw one feed. People in different countries probably saw something completely different to what you saw. But yeah, we're all walking around working, so we don't know who's on or what. Microphone keeps cutting out. Oh, bugger. I don't know why, because it's one of those lovely Rode mics on the side. Sound is cutting off, says someone else. Limited print of Veronica. No, I don't think so. Saw you on Ted's Notebook. Yes, I was definitely on Ted's Notebook. I think Miami sort of went up a notch because of the race on the weekend. Still some people not happy with what people wear to the track, who they let into the track. I can tell you something, that I put up a post, the first one about Donald, saying, yeah, Donald's here and the security, whatever, have taken over, and he's a guest of McLaren. And I got a note from the PR people at McLaren saying, Kim, could you please change that? He is not a guest of ours. We were selected by F1 to come, that he would come to our paddocks. In other words, F1 foisted him onto McLaren. And today, everywhere on the social media, McLaren were just saying, hey, we have nothing to do with it. Don't hold us to ransom. Oh, there's audio issues. I can't honestly work out why. There's no meet and greet here. No. Oh, Milton Brownrigg. Hello, Milton. Oh, I might have something in terms of another print. I'll know next week. We might have another name to add, or another picture to add to your magnificent collection. And apologies once again for this reflection. I have to have a light because, as I mentioned earlier, without the light, come on, that's what you see. And I think I'd rather have the light in my eyes because it's a little bit better for you. But the one good thing is that once it gets a bit darker, I can have it down a little bit low. Thank you for the advice on the sound. Audio's fine. Talk to us about yourself. I'm interested in a story. Just decided I want to do F1 photography and got into it. Told F1 what I could do. They said that sounds good. And I did it. Is Valtteri the nicest driver? He's certainly approachable and lovely. He's not stuck up in any way, and his girlfriend's lovely. Did you see the... Oh, you probably saw the bit about the shirts that people were wearing. Oh, freaking hell, audio. But then some people say it's fine. Okay, I'm going to have to keep talking, and if it's too bad, you'll drop out and go and do something else, I guess. Geez, the comments are coming too quick for me to see. So if you want to get your comment noticed, put it in Super Chat. Otherwise, I'll miss some of them, I guess. For those of you just joining, and what do we got? 433. That is Miami City at dusk. And it'll continue to come alive. I can tell you that Max Verstappen, I'm told, had 18 G&Ts last night. Gin and tonics. 18. He was on fire. Good luck to him. He deserves to let his hair down. And if he had 3 drinks a night over a week, well, that would be more than having 18 in one go. Brickell Centre is just a minute away. Background looks lovely, yes. And hello to, who's this? Come back here. Toasted Bricks. Will YouTube... No, I won't be attending the IndyCar race this weekend. I'm staying here. It's just too much travel, and I have too much work to do that I thought, no, I'm just going to hole up here. Just go and dine out. Maybe go to the races. Is it Gulfstream Park? Is that any good? Might be. I'm going to get a drink. Stay there. My lips were getting dry. What are we drinking? Evian. Naive backwards. I don't have an employer. I'm self-employed. Thoughts of F1 in India? When it happens, I'll be going there, obviously. Did you share a few beers with Shane? Yeah, I sponsored Shane for 5 years, so we would often go out to lunches, and he would have client lunches for my clients, and just the most beautiful man. So now I've turned the light down low here. It's not... Oh, yeah, you can still see it in my glasses. Hello, local... What do you call it? A local Miamian. I do like... Oh, shit. I do like the Aventura Mall as a shopping centre, and I was over today in this one here. What's this one here? In the middle of town? That is quite lovely. Very high-end stuff. Had a meal, had a hamburger. Get this, I had a beautiful Wagyu burger with chips, which came with it, and 1 margarita, $57 US. Or 54, now about 85 Aussie dollars for a hamburger and a cocktail. And that's no high-end restaurant. That is, it's just a nice place. I don't know how people in this country can afford to live. It's shockingly expensive. Oh, there's a super chat. Let's have a look. Can you see these super chats too? Let's celebrate their first super on a live stream with Christian Chambron. Well, let's raise our glasses to Christian. Did I happen to catch the finish of the NASCAR race? No, I did not. $50, more than 50, yeah. Because you've got to add on top the tax. Was there tax? And then the tip, which of course in almost all other civilized countries is included. There's no juggling of numbers and stuff. But this is the way it happens here. Thank you, Sean, for your feedback. Do you shoot with a 1200? Never. I've got a 800 at home, but it's just ridiculously heavy. Greg Ringler. Top-notch videos. Thank you, Greg. Love the format. Where did McLaren host their party? Don't know. Was Max there drinking all the... No, Max was at a nightclub. Was it... somebody might have... My friend told me this today. And he also recommended I go there, but I can't be bothered. I took my son and his girlfriend... no, both sons and their girlfriends to one of the Caesars nightclubs. It was great, but once a year's enough for me. It's too hard. Yeah, I'm in Brickell. 10 minutes drive from where? Okay. All right, if I go 10 minutes drive. But I think I'm going to give my car back tomorrow. It's just too expensive to park it. What about parking? Valet parking? What's that? Oh, that's $85 a night too. Aussie. 52, 57 or something. Local money. Live at the fountain. Fontainebleau Hotel is nice. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't want to go too far. Oh, and have an okay meal when I can go just down there and have an okay meal. But look at those lights starting to. Oh, they're going to look lovely shortly. Do I think Vegas will be better this year now? Why is it going to be a bit warmer? Is it earlier? What Vegas needs to do is light that bloody paddock. It's way too dark. Which 3 races do I recommend going? Spa, Budapest, and Melbourne. There you go. That's the 3 I've thought of today. I might change my mind tomorrow. How do you stock your photos and how do you find them? I use a thing called Lightroom or I can just find any photo. You say Brazil 2019 podium, I can find it in 4 seconds. If my keywording was good on the day, that's what it gets down to, and they're all stored back in 3 places. One of my offices in Perth, one at my home on some hard drives, and one in the cloud. It's a marvellous evening for a night like this, isn't it? Just beautiful. There's a light breeze and there's these party boats down here going out, and that looks like the life. With it being so hot during the day, do you think it could be moved to a night race? Yeah, that would be nice. Very nice. Look at that bloody reflection in my glasses. Now, Joey McCabe has thrown in a couple of British pounds, and they're pretty much the most valuable pounds, aren't they? Dream job for a F1 fan? Yeah, it would be a dream job if you had it. If it paid, like if you could. If someone said, yeah, we'll pay you X amount of dollars a year and cover all your expenses, that would be a dream job. But you've got to go out and find clients as a rule. That's pretty much how it works. Now, apparently Miami is a rich wankers city. You might not be far off the truth there from what I've seen, but these are some beautiful looking people, well-dressed people here. And there's some people speaking Spanish in 2 balconies over, but they're not doing a live stream and you probably can't even hear them. Somebody asked how many photos per race. About 15 to 20,000. And they're all edited, not all, they're all selected, they're all reviewed. I pick the ones I want and I normally end up with 1,500 per race. Miami isn't my vibe. Yeah, well, it happens to be the closest place to where I was after the end of the race. So I thought I'd come here. How do I afford all expenses? I never stop working. I don't stop working. It's buffering, sad to hear. Okay. Costa Rica, sorry. Love the content. I'll tell you where I do have a lot of people, and someone will pop up and say, yeah, I'm from there. Colombia. Any Colombians out there? The shutter count on the R3, there's no shutter. But the R1's coming out at the end of the year, and I'm very excited to see that and see what it might do for my workflow, for my quality of images. But I'm certainly happy, in general, with the R3. It occasionally stops, and it did that twice this last race meeting. And once during the race, I'm thinking, please do not have a crash near where I am if the camera wasn't working. Normally it's just reset the thing anyway. Will you be joining us in Indianapolis? I won't. I'll be staying right here and flying to Europe, I think Sunday. Somebody mentioned the R5 Mark II. Now, I shoot my videos on the R5, and it probably is due for a bit of a revamp because it gets bashed around pretty much. When do we see races? I don't know. When India's coming on, I don't know anything about that. Any favourite cars I've driven on my travels? I had a nice... Oh, yeah, okay. I've got a Maserati in the next place. What is it? Bologna. I've got it 2 nights because I'm going to go for a drive to the Maranello factory for Ferrari and have a look. Hopefully I can get in and have a look around with my contacts that I've got there. That'd be nice. What was this one here? Is it correct that Lando didn't visit the... No, he did it. I watched him visit the scales. Absolutely saw it. Didn't take a photo of it, but he was only probably 3 meters to my right. What corner were you at during the... Well, I started at 1, outside of turn 1. Then I started outside... Then I went to outside of turns 2 and 3. across the bridge and did inside of 2. And then I went up, where did I go? I went back to the paddock after that. Went back to the media centre and changed a bit of stuff, and away I went. Did Parc Fermé and podium. Where can he get a good Cuban sandwich through? Now, I actually went to a place last year and did it in my video where I got some Cuban sandwich. It was good, but yeah, I didn't adore it. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't think I appreciate that sort of food. No, I didn't see Felix, whoever he is. Could you leave the live stream after you finish your stream? The view's amazing. Just gobble up the internet here at the hotel. Now, we've got a super chat here from Gustav. I think you're a regular, Gustav, are you not? What do you think of the potential on a New York City race? Wouldn't want it to be in the heat of summer. Wouldn't be very nice on concrete, but look, I think New York would be great. But are they going to alternate with another US race, or are we going to have 4 here? Because if we have to come back here 4 times, this is a shocker for me, because if I come from Australia, as you'll see in my video tonight, Perth time, it took me 37 hours and 3 flights with a 5-hour layover and a 7-hour layover. And it was a tough grind. Now, you Americans will not be able to comprehend people flying for that long. Because I know most of the time you think 6 hours or 5 hours, which is probably the cross-country flight, is intolerable, but not for us Australians. We are well and truly used to long trips, such where we are situated in the world. You can thank the prices you pay in the US to Bidenomics. Yeah? Right, well, I'm not happy about it, but what am I going to do? And our Australian dollar is incredibly poor at the moment. F1 must return to India. Is that a statement or a demand? Hello, Perth, big fella. It's a bit chilly in Perth at the moment, my wife tells me. She's in Lancelin. Ever trekked in Nepal? No, never been there. Ever visited Tunisia? No. Nice to have me in Miami. It's nice to be in Miami, especially with that backdrop. Isn't that pretty? That's really, really nice. Tomorrow I'll do a time lapse of that. I was going to do one tonight, but here I am out here talking to you. 500 people. What else should I do here? I thought about going to Gulfstream Park and watch the races. Maybe see some High-Lie. Do you know what High-Lie is? I went and saw it once. That might have been somewhere in Florida. I think this... Geez, the comments are way too quick for me to read. Sorry. Super Chat gets you noticed, like Milton Brownrigg earlier on tonight with his generous donation. High-Lie is an interesting sport. I'm waiting for it to see if anyone knows anything about it. You can gamble on it, I know that much. Gustav, what race do you think runs a risk of replacement? Maybe Budapest. Maybe they can't afford what some of the other rich countries can afford. I don't know. Nothing's been said about that. Do I shoot primes or zooms? Mostly zooms, but sometimes I'll take a 50 or a 135 out. Go to the Everglades. Yeah, I've seen a couple of those tours. Take a tour to see gators, but see, the thing is, in Australia we have crocodiles, and they're far more dangerous and much larger than gators. So I think that's a bit like taking a second preferred option. I don't know. Probably end up just hanging around here and just working still. Budapest is way too good. It is a beautiful race, and the people are lovely, and the lovely outside the hotels gatherings at night. It's one of the best buzzers that we have. Gee, that's a lovely backdrop, is it not? Hear that? Someone's got their music blaring out of their car. Right, well, if Matt says High-Lie's incredible to watch, perhaps I should go and do a short video segment on that. I don't know, that's not my type of music. Does the Gold Coast or Miami have more plastic surgery? I don't know. Gold Coast is Miami, but on a much smaller scale. Very tacky. Although having said that, I did have a number of houses there on a place called Sovereign Islands, which I thought would be great investments, but they weren't that great. But it was great holidays, and to live on the water is something special there, because unlike Perth, which has horrible winds in the afternoon most of the year, Gold Coast is much calmer and the water is nicer. Do I see Max leaving his contract? No, and I think Lando's win on the weekend just shores up Max to stay longer at Red Bull, because Lando is unlikely to want to go to Red Bull because he probably sees greater future in staying where he is. Did I get this one here? Did I miss someone? Daniel, Miami's amazing food is lovely, just not the pizza. Also hoping for South Africa's event. Yeah, I think Kyalami's, that's where they're going to have it, I guess. I think it's a chance. And I'm delighted that there's now a direct flight from Perth to Joburg, 10 hours. What was I saying before? I can't remember. Are huntsmen, what? Are huntsmen spiders around you back at home? Yeah, we see them. They're not terrifying. They're not even dangerous. They're just big. Can I do digital artwork and send it out on me? You won't make my staff very happy if you try and undercut them, so no. I'm pretty happy with my staff doing such a good job. And they do it at crazy hours. Tell you, what I might need, and I'll float this, is for the American races later in the year, I might need someone to put stuff up to Getty Images, but I don't know, maybe if you're any good at social media and you can edit pictures, and yeah, you can send me something, but I'm not sure whether I will need someone or not. But at the moment Jace does it, but Jace does it like he had to work from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. for 4 days. And he's young, of course, and he wants to go out and he gets tired, so it's fine for me. I'm here 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. working, but he had to do 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. Might be better if I had someone in a local place. Anyway, send me something of interest and I'll keep them on file. Kim@kimillman.com, but no guarantees. Are you watching the Met Gala? No. I gather Lewis is there. Is Daniel there? Will I go directly to Imola? No, I'm going to go to Bologna for a couple of days and go and have a look at Ferrari's headquarters, because I think that might be interesting. Gustav again, thank you, sir. Should there be more South American races? No. No, I think we're happy with Sao Paulo. And I wish that track was a bit nicer, a bit better. The facilities are average. But I am excited because I hear that Budapest has undergone quite a revamp. And hopefully we've got a decent media centre, because that held the record for the most disgusting media centre. It was in a dungeon, although it did have windows, but it had these chairs that I don't know, from the 1970s. It was just horrible. Was Norris embarrassed to be filmed with Trump? I don't know. I didn't even see that. No, I think he would have been briefed about what to say on that. Colombia was about to have an F1, but they decided to go with Madrid. I don't think that Madrid thing's going to be any good at all. It just doesn't seem like it's going to be great. I could be wrong. Let's wait and see, shall we? Initially, I'm thinking, nah. Oh, shivers, I've just gone and done something there. What is the best media centre? Well, Abu Dhabi's sensational. You know what? I think Japan... am I still in focus here? I think Japan, because it's right in the middle of the paddock. You just walk out the door and everything's going on around you. The worst one is Saudi for distance. It's 300 metres away. This one here, we're up the top of the stadium. So we come out, but they'd always have golf buggies in. It was so good because they'd go down this helix, and it was 2 flights, and you'd be down the bottom in 30 seconds. It was excellent. But did McLaren support Trump by... No, they didn't invite Trump. I don't know where you're getting that idea. They did not invite him. He was foisted on them. You remember that Larry David episode? You got to fire that limpy bitch. She was foisted on you. Yeah, well, Donald was foisted on McLaren. Do I like Melbourne? Yeah, I like the race. I like the people. Lots of people know me there, so that's nice. And I've got family, so I can get to save some money on accommodation. But I wouldn't live there. No way would I live there. Lewis is at the Met Gala, I have no doubt, and he'll be wearing something spectacular. I imagine he would have spent some time preparing for it. He would look an absolute treat. And did you see his shoes on the weekend? They were remarkable. They must have been that wide and that high. I don't know what brand they were, and I can't see them being very comfortable, and you certainly wouldn't want to run a marathon in them, but they were impressive. Hello, there's a super chat there with some euros, my second favourite currency. Lando picture, please. You're always where the backs. I'm going to do a book. I will do something for Lando. I will do a print that I will sign, and maybe Lando can be convinced. I don't know yet, but anyway, there is a Lando book which my guys are working on today, and it is all about his first win. Gustav, thoughts on a second Spanish GP? I've just mentioned that. Shocking. I don't think it's going to be any good, but I've been wrong many times. But the feeling amongst everyone is just a money grab, not the right place to have it. There were some of the comments. But I do like Madrid. I love it a lot. In fact, I'm in Barcelona for a month. No, I've rented an apartment for a month, and my family are coming over. And if anyone's interested, I've still got 2 tickets on that charter flight, 2 seats on that charter flight from Nice to Barcelona on the Sunday of the Monaco GP. It leaves about 9:30 at night, and you can travel private. You don't have to get there an hour and a half before your flight. Just roll up 10 minutes, jump on the plane. If you're interested, it's 1,500 euros a ticket. Thank you, Kevin. He's chipped in some dollars. I appreciate that, sir. I gather you're a sir. Or maybe you're not. Can't be too sure these days. Sounds like the Trump to push his way in. Yeah, we had 2 days prior, there was chat that he was coming, and then on the night before, we were talking to some security guys, and they were saying this just had to be big changes in security for the Sunday, VIP coming, and that's pretty much how we all knew. We just didn't know where he would enter. I was told he was flying in by helicopter and then driving in underneath the stands, and he would get out and go straight up to a suite. But in the end, he came down where all the drivers are. They have corporate boxes up the top, and that's where they use, or not all of them, some of them have those for change rooms. And we believe he was up in that section of the facility. And then he came down with his Secret Service. And as you would have known if you watched my video, the Secret Service were just holding everyone back. And then the drivers have done the driver's parade. And they can't get through because it's 7, 8 deep with people. And the security won't let anyone through. And then someone said, "It's Lewis, it's Lewis." Oh, okay, Lewis, certainly. And bang, they were allowed in. I think George also was there. I did see a couple of mechanics who just said, "We have to go through here because they're only a couple of hours away from the race." And the other thing, if you didn't see my video, there was a level above, first level of corporates, where people could normally stand out in the balcony and they watch what's going on down below. But they blocked 50 metres, maybe 40 metre section of that, and no one was allowed to stand there, and that was, I guess, to safeguard idiots doing stupid things off the top of that thing. Kendall Jenner, someone said, I didn't see Kendall, but my colleague shot some stuff. Yes, that is true. She did do hot lap with Lewis, and that would have been pretty good to get Lewis driving you around in a hot lap. I've come a long way in a short time. Well, it's 129 races, which is 520 days on track. Well, and then some testing as well. So yeah, I've come a long way in a long time, I think. But anyway, I realised I could have been a lot further ahead on Instagram by doing more reels. Reels has gone crazy in terms of adding new followers to my Instagram page. So yeah, I just need to come. I'm getting this nice reflection of that traffic down there. You're not seeing that, but what about that? Oh, you're going to get out of focus anyway, but it's a lovely backdrop, isn't it? I've got this light on 1% now, and even then I'm way brighter than that. And without the light, I don't think it would look very good at all. In fact, it would be a waste of time. Oh, yeah, it's a bit grainy, isn't it? I'll turn it back on, but geez, it's a nice view. That's why I booked over here. Matthew Brown, what have you got to say, Matthew? Loves my channel. What's your favourite racetrack? My favourite track to shoot is Monaco, because it's beautiful, picturesque, and it's not very big, so you can get from one end to the other quickly. In fact, you can walk it in about 13 minutes. You can't say that of Spa. That's a nightmare. Chopper coming over. Oh, look, you're going to see this. Where is it? There. Where is it? Oh yeah, there. That's nice. Can you do a video of how quickly do the drivers hop on the plane after the race? No, I'm doing a video from Spa, no, from Liège Airport, what the drivers flew. And I'm going to go there a day early to capture them coming and going. Oh no, just coming to the race. Because that video I did last year about private jets was huge, an absolute ripper. Just occurred, are you married? Yes, I've been married since 95. 2 boys. One of them works with me, Jace. And the other one is studying and fielding job offers in AI and computer programming. He's a very cluey young lad. Audio cuts out, yeah. Some people say that, but others say no, it's fine. So I think it's probably at receiving end rather than this end. The rule of thirds, even on the live stream. Yeah, well, I don't think that looks very good standing in the middle, so I think we've got to do that over here. I could stand that side, but then my face is behind the comments, which is why I stand this side. Monaco recommendations for a first-time visitor. Stay on a boat. It's the best. It's amazing. You just walk upstairs at the start of the day and bang, it's all in front of you. The attendance looked low this year at Miami. I didn't see the figures. Tell us what they were. Oh, here's a super chat. Stand by, stand by. Press the green little button up here. What are my thoughts on F1 doing one race that rotates to a historic track like Nuremberg or Laguna Seca? Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen with some other places where they're going to be having, like it might be in Spain, one year they do it at Madrid and the next year they do it at Barca. I don't know. I don't really care because wherever they race, I'm going to be there. Thoughts on British bias? I don't know. You know more than me. I only know what I read and I don't read that much. A lot of people say, well, perhaps people don't realise what goes on a Sunday because I still have not got much of an idea what happened in that race. Unless it happened in front of me, I can be clueless. Yeah, I can see the top 3, but once we get below that, half the time I've got no idea what's gone on. And people say, oh, well, you didn't do anything about that. I didn't know about that. It is so full on. And I'll tell you what happens at the end of the race. And I'll give you this race as the example. And I've done this in my video where normally I would do Parc Fermé, then the podium, and then probably go back and edit. Sometimes I'll stay out for another 40 minutes and just shoot the comings and goings of drivers doing the press interviews. Unless it's someone interesting that wins, in which case that was the case on the weekend, so I'll stay with Lando, and I stayed with him. I reckon it was 90 minutes, and there was press conferences, there was TV media pen, there was celebration shots, Parc Fermé and podium. And then I've got to go back and edit, and then I've got to bullet point some stuff for a video. I've got to pack up all that stuff that we've had at the track for 4 days. Got to drive another half an hour back to my hotel. Got to set up all the video stuff, wash, get ready, do half an hour of recording, and then send all that off to Perth to be edited. So I just oftentimes don't have any time, not even to eat, although perhaps I'll tell you a lie there because I actually stopped at Bella Luna, which is a lovely Italian restaurant that I eat at the Aventura Mall. And I pretty much just roll in and say, before I even sit down, this and this please. And they're great. And about 8 minutes later, this comes and this. I eat it and I'll flick through social media just to see what I can glean from that, and then back to the apartment or house or hotel room to do more editing. It's so labor intensive, and remember too that I've got Jace doing a lot of my uploading of pictures to Getty Images back in Perth, and we'll upload 120 images in a day. And I've got an editor who's doing probably 5 hours editing of a video. Then I've got my other staff in the week. I've got 40 staff in Perth, but most of them work on my messages on hold business. But a number of them will be doing little small things like graphics for videos or accounting and that sort of stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of people behind me that allows me to do this level of work. But it's certainly no come to Miami and have a jolly. There's no time. Thoughts on Kimi being thrust into F1 already? Is the super license? No, it's not a rumour. Absolutely not a rumour. James Vowles went to Geneva to talk to the FIA about Kimi being exempted from that under 18 rule. So if the FIA says yes and Mercedes allow him to drive for Williams, I think it could happen, and I think it could happen for Imola. So we could see an Italian racing in Imola. And the last time we had that was it Giovinazzi? I think it was. I've already mentioned the answer to how many photos it is, about 15 to 20,000 per race weekend. But then when Jace is there, he'll take 6,000 as well, but he has to edit his and then put them into my Lightroom catalogue. And this happens at lightning speed too. I will go through a session. It takes about 45 minutes to pick the photos and edit them from a session. Well, that's an on-track session and maybe an hour of stuff before as well. And it's just a matter of, there's no time for editing of any great note. There'll be a bit of cropping. There'll be some, I sell a range of slipstream, try this again. I sell a range of Lightroom presets, and I will use mainly Turbo as the one that is the instant pop. Now, every photo gets that, and then there's some other stuff that I'll pick different other presets that I like for different scenarios. But it's not like, there's some photographers who work for teams whose job is to take 25 photos a race weekend. They're stunning, and they will be stunning, and they'll be heavily edited, and they will be so much nicer looking than mine. But you can afford to spend an hour on a picture. I would never spend an hour on a picture, never. I'd be lucky to spend at the track a minute. There'll be no more than a minute. That building is a bit bright there. I'm going to get rid of that one. Or maybe I'll stand in front of it and we'll go like that. No. That's how it works. I'll go to your questions. Did you travel east or west from Perth? Sydney, what is that? East. Sydney, LA. Here, Gustav again. Thank you, Gustav. You're a prolific super chatter. What do I think of successful Indy drivers like Alex Palou? Yeah, I've spoken to Alex, spoken to Colton, and get on very well with Pato. Just a marvellous fella. I don't think Roman Grosjean would return, and I don't think Pato's going to get a drive. I'm not sure Colton would get a drive either. I'd love to see one of those young fellas in from the American side of things, but I don't know if they'd be any better than Logan. Of course, you never know till they step in. And we are under the flight path. And what do you think of our view back here, people? If you've just joined us, that is Miami. Isn't that nice? And what's around this side here? A bit more goes down there. And yeah, so I've got this view every day now for 6 days. Where do you think Carlos will go? I don't know. I haven't even thought about that. Amazing job. Always looking forward to seeing the videos. We love them, yeah. I was so close to not doing one on Saturday night. I thought, oh no, I've got to do one. And often it's just a matter of just going through your photos and, okay, well that's an interesting thing there. And people wouldn't realise that. Let's talk about that. My aim is to get 10 minutes per video. Sometimes I fail and get 7, then other times I think I've got 10 and I've got 14 of content. Vettel return. No, I don't think so. What did you do before Formula One? Well, have a look at kimelman.com. You'll find my history there. I've still got my companies, and I've still got staff in Perth, so that's always there. And that's when I'm not working on F1, I'm working on that side of the business. I want to take a screenshot. Could you move a bit? Yeah, okay, there you go. Hopefully you got it, huh? That's nice, huh? Actually, I might take a nice picture and put it up as a giveaway to my my members. Where's the Lambo? Someone said they could see a Lambo there. You should go up the road to try limoncello on Miami Beach. I'm in Brickell, I certainly am. Which is a little triangle-shaped island. And you take this little causeway down here to get here. But there's not much over here. In fact, I don't think there's anything over here. You've got to walk back over the bridge. In my old Canon days, I think I served you once at the camera counter in Melbourne. Really? Did I come into Melbourne? Not at George's, was it? I buy a bit of stuff off George's. Is it hard to get drivers to sign pics? Well, it's not hard to get the ones that sign to sign. It's hard to get the ones that don't sign to sign, otherwise they would have signed them. But yeah, it's got to be the right time and they've got to want to do it. Come to Melbourne, Florida. No, I'm not going to do that. Somebody suggested I take the new train that goes to Orlando. It's a high-speed train. But even then, it's still 4 hours. Singapore or Emirates? Singapore. Emirates. How long do your shutters last? They're digital, there's no shutter. I haven't used a shutter camera for a couple of years now. I do love the R3. It's much lighter. I gave my other stuff to Jace, and I pick his cameras up occasionally, and my gosh, they are so heavy. There's a great Peruvian restaurant. Oh, you know what? Here in this hotel, is it? I don't know whether I'd eat Peruvian. What's it like? What flavours are there? Now, Pit Lane Pulse has retracted their message. Now, I'm interested to know why. Mulgrave address on Wellington Road. Do you get paid to be at full? No, I'm a freelancer. Well, yeah, I've got clients and I shoot for and stuff that I do, but I don't get. Someone's not paying me a wage. No, it's not a wage. And I mentioned before, very few people have a job in Formula One where they earn a paycheck. Is that wobbling? Why is that wobbling? F1 has nothing to do with me. They give me a media pass and that's it. Equal engines for all F1 cars. Okay, maybe. Do I like Brisbane? No, I never spent much time in Brisbane. I would fly into Brisbane, pick up a car and go straight to my home in the Gold Coast. But I didn't stay in the heart of the Gold Coast in Surfers because that was a shit fight. I stayed on Sovereign Islands or at Palm Beach where Jack Doohan's dad has a number of properties there. Boy, my gosh, so many comments, and I'm interested to know, where are you from? I reckon most of you will be from the US because it is night time here. I don't think many of you will be from Europe because it is middle of the night. Is it 7 hours? Yeah, it must be early morning. Houston, Puerto Rico, Virginia, Miami, New Zealand, Brazil, Miami, oh hello, look at this. Perth, Ecuador, North Carolina, Norway, Quick, New York, Texas, Chicago, Adelaide. Born in Adelaide, Portugal, California. That's the clever way to do it. I can't miss that. Fort Lauderdale. Oh, it's a nice little place, Fort Lauderdale. I've been to New Zealand once for 2 days. I was going to spend a week skiing and I hated it, so I came back. New York, Utah. I met some people from Utah the other day, nice people. Did I see Czechia? Mauritius, Key West, Tijuana. Went there once as a 17-year-old with my cousins. Townsville, Milwaukee, Belarus. Oh, I've never seen anyone from Belarus on here, so that's special. San Fran, Australia, Tunisia, Ontario, Los Angeles, visitor of COTA for 9 years. Port Stephens in Queensland. I'm offended. Someone's offended. I love to hear people who are offended. I just hated going up the mountain on a bus to ski. That's got bloody knobs on it, that has. Gustav, for IndyCar to try and replicate F1 success like Andretti and Chip Ganassi have said they'd like to see, do you think Penske will need... I don't understand your question, sir. You said that they'd like to see, do you think Penske will need... Look, I don't know enough about IndyCar, and I certainly know even less about NASCAR. So I'm going to have to cry ignorant on that, I'm afraid. Has Lando gotten any sleep yet? I imagine he's had a snooze today, because the nightclubs obviously have to shut at some point. Naples, Florida. Yes, my clients are companies, yes, and all sorts. It's a very broad mix of income streams. I've always been interested in digital photography, but didn't know where to start. I'm decent at editing, but haven't the slightest idea on camera equipment. Now, look, I don't know what entry-level cameras there are. I only use the R3s, and I've got one R5, but really I use that for video. You want a camera that's got at least, ideally you want 15 frames a second, but you can get away with 7. And you want probably a 70 to 200 lens to start. But I have no idea what Canon has, and I shoot with Canon. I'm completely clueless about the others. Do I hire people overseas? No. If Andretti get in, do you think Colton Herta will get a seat? Don't know. Am I sharp or am I dull? I'm reasonably sharp. Do you like churchy blue and grey? Don't know what that is. Oh, and my bucket hats. I think I've sold 75. I've ordered 100. They haven't been made yet. And the dumb thing is, it's a 42-day lead time. But you'd think, because I did it 42 days out, I placed my order for 100. And if I get 150 sales, it'd be nice to ring them up and say, all right, now 150. But they say, no, you've got to place a separate order now for 50, and that goes on a 42-day wait. But anyway, once the 100 are sold out, they will be gone. Would Penske need to sell IndyCar and make races more international to make it more upscale, is what I mean? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I know that the Indy cars are quite old technology, aren't they? And they're heavy, hard to drive. But really, I'm probably not the right man for that question. But Gustav is a good supporter of the channel, and I thank him for that. And I don't need to go to dinner tonight because I have had a very expensive Wagyu burger over here behind me. And if you just joined, we get ripped off here, deluxe. Or maybe it's just average prices, I don't know. I paid, it was 25, 37 plus a whole lot of bullshit. So it's probably close to $50 US for a hamburger and a margarita. And I'll show you this. For those of you who know this brand of, what is it? Some whiskey, American whiskey. I went into the shop the other day, into one of these liquor stores. I thought, oh, I'll get a big bottle of this. So $21, including tax, I thought was bloody good value for a litre. Because in Australia, we'd pay 70 Aussie, so that's 33. So less than half the price, but it's not a litre. It's 1.75 litres. My God, that's just incredible value. So that's 3 to 4 times cheaper in this country than it is in Australia. It's bizarre. So I probably won't get through anything like that in 2 or 3 races. Bring it to Imola, I might, to save myself $20 and have it clog up my luggage, yeah. Don't drink it all at once, no. How much do you spend flying it? Time or money? Money? Don't worry. You can always make more money, but you can never get your time back. Booze is bloody expensive in Aussie compared to New Zealand, yeah, and it goes up every 6 months. They keep raising the prices, the government, automatically. It's just a nice old lark for them. Need to have Southern Comfort burgers. Amazing view of the city. Yeah, if you've just joined, what a nice backdrop for my live stream. Somebody, if you've just joined, somebody said about 5 minutes ago, can you get out of the shot? They want to do a screenshot. And I did what do you call it? I did oblige them. Do you shoot film? Never, never, ever, ever. Oh, is Instax film digital? No, not. They're instant pictures, and they're great. My dream is to do what you do for one season only as a photograph, travel, and F1 enthusiast. Do you think it's possible? Everything's possible. I don't know how you'd do it. You'd have to get accredited, and you'd have to go to the FIA website and see what they're looking for. Then you'd have to, well, I don't know, it depends where you're travelling from. Obviously, if you're travelling from Europe, it's a fraction of the cost than if you're travelling from Australia. We get absolutely reamed because we're a long way away. There's no partying. I had 4 hours sleep last night, so there'll be an early night. Would you like to, I gather that means go to an IMSA race. I don't even know what IMSA is. So perhaps I need more information about that. Everything's possible if you stay passionate. Sorry, there's one more comment up here. Excuse me, reaching. I've been a subscriber since you had less than 10k subs. That was a long time ago. Happy to see your channel growing, yeah. It's just all the time just chipping up. There's no huge jump. So no, I'll tell a lie. I got put on 30,000 subscribers in 1 month in November last year, all because of Las Vegas. It was huge. How do I deal with the extensive worldwide travel? Does it wear on you? No, it's pretty good. If you, on long haul flights, if I get a I will always get a lie flat seat because I make sure of that. I won't book a sit up on a long haul. It's not worth it. Normally I can sleep, and I've always got sleeping tablets at the other end if that's a drama. Did I cover the Australian Grand Prix when Haas had both cars go out? Yep. Oh, did I? If it was 2017, 18 or 19, yes. I remember getting a shot of Roman Grosjean getting out of his car very angry about 300 metres after turn 2. Is it a green screen or live? What do you reckon? What do you reckon there? Looks pretty live to me. There you go. Have a look out there. And back there. It's a nice view, huh? Very nice view. Thank you, Matt Painter. I've seen your name before, I think. Definitely a green screen, yep. I've got great technology, haven't I? It is a beautiful view, and that's why I picked this hotel. And I'm out on the balcony, and the temperature is perfect. See, if it was like this in the middle of the day, it wouldn't be anywhere near as uncomfortable as it was out there at the track. Melbourne, Gold Coast, for university, I don't know. Probably Melbourne, to a bit more of a more cultured city, isn't it? Can you buy me a ticket to Monaco? Vicky, you know the answer, don't you? Come visit Naples. No, probably not going to do that. I was going to go down to have a look at Key West and those places, but I'm told that's 4 hours. It's just a place. So I'm not a very good tourist. I tend to just want to do travel videos and that sort of stuff. Your comments, I'm impressed that there's so many coming through. This is a real interesting time to do it. What's it in Australia now? 12 hours. 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. Yeah, I don't often do them at 8 a.m. Perhaps I should do more. Now, what's this about Ted Kravitz? How do you get on with Ted? Ted and I are great friends. He's a beautiful man. We share information, and he makes me laugh. No, Liberty don't have anything to do with the media passes. That's all to do with the FIA. So you go to their website, FIA, and you look at the media accreditation page. Do you ever get sick of flying? Never. Not if it's a nice plane. And I'm going on a private jet, a 9-seater from, Monaco? No, Nice. Yeah, Nice, Monaco, to Barcelona after the race, which is going to be quite a thrill because I've never flown private in a jet. I've flown private on a prop job in Africa, but that's a completely different kettle of fish. What's there someone saying? I thought Kimi is still 17. No, you obviously hasn't caught up, Cherry. James Vowell's gone to Geneva to argue the case that he be exempted from that regulation. So I don't think that'll be a problem. I sense a driver change. Yeah, I'm waiting for an email. Love your content. What I like is how great your behind the scenes content showing a media access percent. Well, that's all I can really report on because that's all I can see and know. What did you do before F1 coverage? Well, have a look at kimellman.com. That'll give you an idea of what I still do and what I have done. Have we got another super chat that I have to be aware of? PTX, I've been a subscriber. Yes. Now, I remember when I got 100,000 subscribers on YouTube because I was in Barcelona. It was after a race, and I'm guessing it was probably 2 years ago now. And I went and stayed at an apartment, a beautiful Airbnb, and I was just watching it. Come on, get across to 100,000. Because when you get 100,000 subscribers, you get this silver plaque, which is quite an achievement. And I got it when I was there at that particular time. So that was a moment I'll always remember. And hopefully, I'm doing this when I click over to 1 million subscribers, but that realistically is several years away, I'd say. What's your missus do at home? Well, she's a volunteer ambulance officer, so she has always something interesting, bizarre, breathtaking, exciting to do, sometimes boring, but yeah. And my son and his girlfriend live in Lancelin for a lot of the year, so she's got company there. Now, Vanessa Black, and interesting, I don't know why this one looks different. Is this not a super chat? Is this something else? What's your favourite cuisine you've had in all the world travels? Any standouts? Oh, yeah, that's an interesting question because nothing comes to mind immediately. First thing I think of is steak because I love great steak. I don't love Mexican food. I've had some beautiful meals recently at the F1 garage, and I had some scallops in one of them, and yeah, it was just really fresh tasting food, and I love that. It's not stodgy, heavy stuff, but I don't mind pastas. I always love Italian pasta, so probably Italian food is my favourite. Now, Gustav again, Andretti's meeting with F1 in Miami. Now, you might have seen my picture with Mario and Michael and Jenson Button. That was a ripper shot. How do you think it went after the letter? Now, for those of you who aren't aware, Andretti wants to get a team into the competition. F1 looked at his proposal and said no, and obviously Mr. Andretti has gone to people in government here and said, hey, we're being locked out of this sport, can you help? And they've gone, well, we're not going to have that, so we're going to write to F1 and say whatever they're saying. So yeah, he's got some powerful people on their side. I guess F1 and FIA always having to juggle dramas, aren't they? It's a tough game, but there's plenty of money at stake, and I'm sure that eases the pain. Singapore satay is the best. Yeah, a bit fatty for me. I've got to be careful now. Let me help you revive Canity. No, it works beautifully without me. Swiss fondue. Oh, I love the fondue, and I'm having that this year because I've got one flight where I've got an hour and 10 layover in Zurich, and I'm going first class on Lufthansa, and as such you get express channeling through the airport, so I should be able to get up to the lounge and have another one of those fondues. And it's quite remarkable that it's probably a $20 dish that you could buy because they have it in pouches and they just heat it up, but oh my god, I love it. There's no cost for a media pass. Yes, I will be rushed again, but I'll rush to eat and then I'll enjoy every single minute of it, and then I'll be last on the flight. And I am doing a flight on Qatar Q Suites later in the year, and I'm doing a collaboration with them, which I'm hoping will allow me to do some really interesting video stuff. Maybe in their catering area in Doha, maybe back office or back end of their operations in Qatar, maybe even out on the tarmac. That'd be great. So it's a really nice connection I've been lucky to manage, and yeah, I'm excited about doing that. And I do love their Q Suite. It is the standout product in business class. It's not as good as first class, and it's not the same price as first class, obviously, but it's very comfortable. What's the worst airport you fly into? I saw a report the other day about the worst airports. I can't remember what it was that took out the that roll. I think it's probably one of the European ones, but I can't remember. There's one that's got this lounge that is so oppressively hot, and it's just like a shitty bar. Look, I can't put my finger on it. I don't know. Best airport. Ask me about that. Best airport would be Dubai. Yeah. Oh, where did I go there? Oh, no, Zurich. I love Zurich. Any chance you do a meet and greet in Montreal? Probably. Just depends on my workload. Trying to get into photography with F1. How can I do it? Well, here's what I did. I studied 12 years of high school. I went straight and got myself a job. I'll come back to you, Vanessa, in a sec. Got myself a job at the ANZ Bank. Then I did 5 years on radio in Darwin, and then I did 2 years on Channel 9 in Perth as an audio engineer. Then I got sacked, and I started my own business. And then at some point I decided I wanted to go and do F1 photography, and I got a pretty good marketing brain, and then I managed to convince them to allow me in. So that's my path in. So if you're young and you want to do that path, you've got to be thinking in 40 years' time, you're there. I don't know how to get in there quicker because I've never looked at it. But you can certainly go and have a look at the FIA's accreditation page for media on there. Yes, I'm going to go back. Who's Rufus? How did I miss Rufus? I've got this one here, Vanessa Black. What's your favourite track you wish would return to the calendar? Not Malaysia. That's way too hot and uncomfortable. Rufus, put your comment here in the normal thing and I'll look for it now. I don't know what we've lost that I'd want to see back. Not the French race. That was terrible too. No, I don't think there's any race that we've lost, in my time anyway, that I want to see back. So you know how long it took to get the Miami track up and ready for race weekend? No? Tell me. Okay, here's another one. What's this one here? No, it's Vanessa again. I've got to look for Rufus's comment because apparently I missed his super chat and that's not good. Thank you for whoever it was that pointed that out. Rufus, all I said was keep up the good work and I love your watches of the paddock. Did you see the watch that led the post of 10 today? That was Patrick Mahomes Rolex. That is 119,000 United States dollars. I went into the Rolex store today and chatted with them, and they said that colour dial is only ever on platinum watches. So if you see that light blue, look at the band, that'll be platinum. How are you getting to Italy? I'm rowing from here. It's going to take quite a while. No, I'm flying via Lisbon on an airline that's not great, but one will be an overnight sleeper, so hopefully one sleeping tablet, maybe two, sorts that out. You missed the lovely what? Lovely Indian track. Yeah, but I've never heard. I don't know anything about India's F1 track. Nor do I know anything about South Africa's. I've never seen them. It's well before my time. What? No, and someone says here, good thing you got 2 weeks, but we don't have 2 weeks. We have 8 days. Monday is normally the travel day, but when you've got a week off, you go perhaps the Tuesday, and so you might get 8 days off, not 14. 2017 was my first race of the year. KL is the worst airport, 2 hours to clear customs. Worst I've had was in Miami going back first time, it was 90 minutes. But yeah, I've heard of people spending hours and hours, and it's just horrendous. After a long flight, it's just a shocking business that they run sometimes. When do you get the Canon R1s? Yes, I have 2 of those, and I'll have 1 Mark II of the R5s. Oh, somebody says it's going to be announced next week, but not sold. I don't think they're going to sell these before the Olympics, are they? That's my understanding. I had hoped that they would have them available for the Olympics. Not that I'm shooting that, but it would be nice. Thank you for your comment, Rufus, about loving the behind the scenes. Much better than Drive to Survive. Yeah, and with far fewer crew members and no budget. 0 budget. Thank you to the Turbo Dad. F1 TV should put your videos on the broadcast. That'd be nice. Especially if they just said, right, we'll pay you and just take what you've done. That'd be nice. perhaps you could suggest that to them. That would be nice too. 450 of you. I don't think it's the same 450 that started. Any tips for seeing drivers in Montreal? Yes, go to kimelman.com and look at my race guide and see what I've said there. I normally put something about every race. But unfortunately, there are probably 200,000 people that all want to meet the same drivers. They can't meet 200,000 people. I did get a couple of seconds with Lando. After the press conference, he made his way back to the celebration, and I was walking backwards for a bit. There was only about 7 people around, and then it got to the swipe gate, so I went through, and realising that he would come through, and at that point he was on his own and he'd finished his little video bit. And in fact, if you watch on LN4, you will see the bit where he's talking to the phone as he walks to the swipe gates, and you'll hear the first word of my chat with him, and I just had a very quick 10 seconds, maybe it might have been 6 or whatever, shook his hand, and I've worked for him for a couple of years, and he is just the most marvellous young fella, and it was such a proud moment for me, having seen all of his races except for 2020, because that's when we had the bloody nightmare where we couldn't go to races. It was just nice to get a quiet moment with him, shake his hand and say, well done. But everybody wanted to do that. So when you're saying, yeah, I'd like to meet these drivers, there's 200,000 people on a race weekend who want to do the same thing, and that's impossible. It's just mathematically impossible. PTX has been here since it was sunny, huh? You've seen this beautiful time lapse behind us. Oscar's a lovely guy. I had lunch or dinner with him going back a couple of years ago in Baku, and I thought at the time, when he was in F2 or 3, a very quiet lad, but he's coming out of his shell now, and it's just great to see he is doing so well. I don't have global entry, and I was explained that by someone else the other day. I don't know whether I can be bothered getting it. Maybe I should get my office onto that. Piastri is a true champ. How do you build relationships? Well, you see them every week and you talk to them, and they talk to you. It's just like people in the office. You see them often enough, and most of them you talk to. There's a couple that you don't, because like Lewis is just so busy, and he's got so many people around him. So he's at the other end of the scale. You've got someone like a Logan Sargent. He can easily walk through the paddock without being bothered, and so they're easy to talk to. Would Miami be better on South Beach if possible? No, I don't mind it out there. I think it might be logistically a nightmare down there, which is, I think, that way. And it would also be harder to get around. I don't know. I just go where they tell us to go. Remember the cookie incident? Yes, with me and Lando. That was funny, because for those of you just joining, or for those who didn't see, I was watching one of his videos, and it was a quadrant thing when they said, draw a picture of me giving Lando a cookie, and so he had to draw this picture. And what I didn't realise was that they didn't do that video in the couple of days before Montreal, so I went and got a couple of these big cookies. And then he comes in one morning, and I just give him this cookie, and he looks at me, what's this? And I'm just thinking, I'm waiting for the reaction. I'm thinking, he's got no idea. And I didn't explain it to him. John Malvin, his trainer, ended up just going, give us that, and he's not having that. It wasn't until the end of the day when we walked out, I was walking out with him, and I said, did you not get that thing from you drawing the cookies? Oh, that. So we did that ages ago. So yeah, I failed to take that into account. Yeah, you probably would have thought I was nuts. Yeah. Despite Wisdom says this was the first Grand Prix in person. Totally worth it. That's interesting, because it's a very expensive exercise to go to a race. And sometimes I think, are these people wasting their money, especially when they're paying $10,000 for a corporate seat? But then I look back to my time. I paid that in in Abu Dhabi in 2016. It's cost me a lot more than that now, because that's what got me excited about the sport. Yeah, we've had a quick chat about Kimi. You can flick back and have a look. I think I've got time for a couple more, and then I'm going to go inside and not do this anymore. So what have I got to look for here? Any super chats that you want to jump the queue, be cheeky? watching all F1 from the couch, too lazy to travel. Well, you see a lot more than I do, but you don't see what I do, and that's quite amazing sometimes. Your Lisa picture was everywhere. Great, because I saw her walk down with someone from a team, and another guy was shooting her. Right? As soon as you see that, you go, oh, I'll take the photo. So I'm walking backwards, and I snap off a few. And then someone says, I said to someone, who is that? And they go, that's whatever, she's a Korean pop star. So I ran ahead and got some more of her. But I'm interested to know that you're telling me that that popped up everywhere, because I put that up to Getty, and Getty Images is the largest agency in the world. So my shots go all around the world with me not having to do anything once I've taken the photo. And a picture like that, or Patrick Mahomes last year, Donald Trump this year, Brad Pitt, they sell over and over and over. And they're the sort of pictures when you take at the time, sometimes you know that they're going to be big, but like with that one, I had no idea. So I'm delighted to hear that it's being seen. And who is she? She is a singer. I'm told Thai. I didn't realise she was Thai. I thought she was Korean. But she sings in a Korean band. What is it? Something Pink, I think Pink or something. Someone will tell me. But she's got 103 million followers on Instagram. And she's a member of a band. She's not even the lead singer. Blackpink. There you go. So thank you for that prompt. Yeah, that was a good story. So hopefully that continues to go well. There was another story before I leave you. I took some photos a year or two ago of some guys coming into the Suzuka paddock, Japanese local guys. And at the time, I didn't know who they were, so I took those pictures. Then I put them up on my website. It was before the time I was contributing for Getty. And on the Monday, my office said, I said, can you give me the stats for number of views on the picture site? They've come back Thursday 1,000, 1,500, Friday 1,600, Saturday 1,800, Sunday, the day I took the photos of these guys, 24,000. What? 24,000. Turns out they were a very big J-pop band sponsored by Honda, and Honda had invited them in, and they're very careful with their photos and their image, and not many of the international photographers had any idea who they were, so I guess they didn't shoot them. I did, and there was this huge level of interest. So 1 minute and 12 seconds, I'll press the stop button. I'll prepare now, because I can never find that bloody thing. It's up here. Cherry says thank you. Radio. Well, I've got this thing on my screen now. I can't see your questions anyway. So I'll say, yes I can. No, I can't read them. From Brickell in Miami, with the Miami city skyline behind, I'm going to say thank you for watching and stay passionate.